I'm meteorologist Aubrey Urbanowicz live in downtown Harrisonburg, where it looks and feels like winter outside and conditions will only be getting worse tonight. Shenandoah County really seemed to get the brunt of this activity, especially for those western facing slopes, and that's where we pick up that upslope snow with that northwesterly flow. Once again, go ahead and bundle up because even our lunchtime temperatures only around 40 degrees. We do still have our severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 5:45. This is for the southeastern portion of Augusta County. The area you see outlined here in yellow includes Cremora, Waynesboro, Stewart's Draft, Fishersville, Greenville, Sharando. We call these HP supercells, high precipitation supercells, and these can actually wrap the tornado in rain, and you cannot see it until it is actually on you. Higher elevations 29 degrees for tomorrow. We'll see those snow showers and around an inch in some isolated areas. Well, they could see a little more than an inch. Our main concern as we head through the evening hours for tonight is going to be refreezing as the sun goes down, and these icy patches are going to refreeze. Sandy still continues to influence our area, and things are going to get worse before they get better. Good evening, I'm meteorologist Aubrey Urbanowicz live in downtown Harrisonburg, where conditions, well, they're starting to deteriorate a little bit more. The winds are picking up, and the rain, well, it's getting a little heavier. Not quite as heavy as the northern valley, where we've had over 2 inches of rain reported.
This is a severe weather alert day from the First Alert Storm Team.
Good evening, I'm meteorologist Aubrey Urbanowicz. Hurricane Sandy has made landfall around 8 o'clock this evening, so it is now no longer technically a hurricane, but that really doesn't matter at this point. We are still talking about a very powerful storm, and as I mentioned, conditions are going to get worse here before they get better. You can continue to see that rotation around Sandy and some of the heavier rain, especially for the northern valley. We have plenty of rain all over our area and even some of that wintry weather, and you can really pick up on the higher elevations and how they are seeing some of those winter conditions. That's why we have the blizzard warnings for elevations over 2,000 feet. That's accumulating snow, a heavy wet snow falling, as well as those very strong winds, and our winds are continuing to increase right now. Our temperature holding at about 41 degrees, so it's still very chilly outside, especially with that rain falling. So again, another piece of advice, stay inside if you can. Pressure is falling rapidly as Sandy has made landfall and continues to move inland. Our winds are now around 30 miles an hour, plus I saw some earlier sustained winds around 40 miles an hour, and we are seeing some higher gusts, and we're going to continue to see that as we head through the overnight hours. Area temperatures in the lower 40s, even the higher elevations. That's where we have those colder temperatures into the mid to lower 30s, and that's where we have that snowfall. As you wake up early tomorrow morning, temperature will be right around 39 degrees for most areas. Notice our winds holding at about 35 to 45 miles an hour. We will see mainly rain in the valley and then snow for the highest elevations around 2,000 feet and higher, and some of that snow could blow over into the valley. So keep that in mind if you do see some of those flakes, but with our temperatures holding around 40 degrees, anything will be mixing with that rain, and we are not expecting any accumulations at this point. Now, as we head through the overnight hours, continuing to see that snowfall for the highest elevations, we could see a half a foot of snow, even up to a foot of snow in some of the far western facing slopes. So keep that in mind. Several inches have fallen in the valley. We received a little over an inch at our studio, but Shenandoah County, parts of Shenandoah County has already reported over 3 inches of rain. So keep that in mind. The more north we go, the heavier the precipitation. As we head throughout our day Tuesday, we're still looking for rain and snow mixing in. However, as we continue to dry out more with a westerly wind, probably going to see some more of that blowing snow over. So it'll be a little bit more defined as we head into our Tuesday night. And that's when that high wind warning will actually come down. So some rainfall totals, again, 18 to 24 inches above 3,000 feet. That is for those far most western facing slopes. Above 2,000 feet, 6 inches to 12 inches, so around a foot of snow. That also includes Skyline Drive and parts of the Shenandoah National Park. Everywhere else, I think we're going to be very hard pressed to even see some accumulations on those grassy surfaces other than that blowing snow mixing in with some rain. So temperatures to start our day tomorrow, 33 degrees for the highlands, 39 for the valley. It's going to be another cold day with that heavy rain, especially in the morning. And then as we head through the evening hours for tomorrow, could still see some lingering showers, and those winds will start to decrease. So keep that in mind. Let's take a look at the next 7 days, where we really do have some slightly improving conditions, especially as we head towards Halloween. 50 degrees, well, that might feel like a heat wave compared to the last couple days we've been through. A little bit of lingering showers and even some snow blowing over from the west on Wednesday morning, but then things clear out and we start to warm up as we head throughout the rest of the week. But tomorrow is going to be another busy day and probably at least a worse start than today. So keep that in mind. Those very strong winds, dangerous driving conditions. You don't want to be out on the road if you don't have to be.
But we still maybe have a good Halloween?
I think we'll still have a good Halloween. It's going to be chilly out there, so maybe bundle up the kids or change their costumes into maybe the Eskimo or Marshmallow Man.
No, you have some great photos, don't you?
Oh, actually we have a new blog post, but if you do have photos, send them over to us. But we do have a new blog post about Sandy making landfall and continuing to update that blog for you, so make sure you check that out on WHSV.com and we will keep you updated. And that can provide enough energy to power 66,000 homes. But weather also plays a big role in keeping up with this farm. It only takes about 6 inches of fast-moving floodwaters to knock an adult off their feet. Prepare for power outages. You can also help before a storm. Go outside and check the trees around your home. Hurricane season, June 1st through the end of November. 6 months of watching if a tropical system will impact the United States. But wait a minute, the nearest coastline is about 100 miles away from the valley. That's our first myth. Only coastal areas are at risk from hurricanes. Some of the worst flooding the valley has ever seen came from a hurricane. In 1996, Hurricane Fran tracked through North Carolina right into Virginia. Page County was the hardest hit in the entire state. Water overflowed from Hawksbill Creek and reached to nearly the top of this football goalpost. That's nearly 16 feet high.
I stood on my front porch and watched an entire building go down the Hawksbill Creek.
Over 10,000 people were evacuated from their homes in Rockingham County, and up to 7 inches of rain fell in Pendleton and Hardy counties, causing widespread flash flooding. A house was even swept off its foundation and landed in the middle of the football field. All of that from a weakened hurricane. That leads us to our next myth. It won't happen here. It can, and it has.
Those of us that have seen it before firsthand, we take it very seriously.
This is a list of hurricanes that had major impacts on the valley. Hurricane Isabel in 2003 left 20 inches of rain in Shenandoah and Augusta County. Camille in 1969 flooded many rivers throughout Virginia, including the South River. Waynesboro saw 8 feet of water downtown. And Diane in 1955 left over 10 inches of rain in the valley. Just because we don't live by a coastline doesn't mean that a hurricane wouldn't be a big impact, especially in the valley. I'm meteorologist Aubrey Urbanowicz for WHSV News 3.